President Donald Trump has threatened to cut aid to UN members who vote for a resolution that condemns the US decision recognising Jerusalem as the capital of Israel.
They take hundreds of millions of dollars and even billions of dollars, and then they vote against us. Well, we're watching those votes. Let them vote against us. We'll save a lot.
Let's get more on this story now from our correspondent Caleb Maupin. Joins us from New York. What's been happening then? What's Donald Trump up to this time?
Well, we hear these words from U.S. President Donald Trump essentially threatening to cut aid to countries that vote for the upcoming UN General Assembly resolution. Now, we'll recall recently how there was a vote at the United Nations Security Council regarding this issue. There was a resolution presented by Egypt that would have essentially rendered the U.S. decision to recognize Jerusalem as Israel's capital and move its embassy to Jerusalem. It would have essentially rendered it null and void. Well, that resolution was voted for 14-1, with every other country represented at the UN Security Council voting for it, but the USA voting against it, and the USA being a permanent member, it was then, at that point, it was vetoed. It was defeated because a permanent member does have the ability to overrule any resolution. So let's take a kind of a review of what went on at the UN Security Council when there was a 14-1 vote.
Here with us today.
The status of Jerusalem as the future capital of two states
should be determined through a negotiated settlement between the Israelis and the Palestinians.
Any decision and actions which purport to have altered the character and status of Jerusalem have no legal effect.
Any unilateral actions increase the risk of escalating the conflict.
We support the just cause of restoring the legitimate national rights of the Palestinian people.
Now, at this point, there seems to be so much outrage in response to Trump's decision regarding Jerusalem that at this point it's being taken beyond the UN Security Council to the United Nations General Assembly, which is planning to have a vote. Now, it's important to note that this decision, which will be, voted on by the UN General Assembly, that's every member state, that decision will not be binding. However, at this point, we've seen Nikki Haley, who is the U.S. ambassador to the United Nations, get on Twitter and warn that she is taking names of countries that vote for this resolution. Now, furthermore, there is a letter that has surfaced that's purported to be a letter from Nikki Haley to various UN member states. The authenticity is not yet confirmed, but it seems to this letter that has been circling talks about how Donald Trump appears to be taking personally anyone who votes for this resolution in the UN General Assembly. So as this unpopular decision was taken by the United States, the USA recognizing Jerusalem as Israel's capital, sparking protests and anger around the world and opposition in the international arena. It seems that as a vote is pending in the UN General Assembly, that it's almost as if some effort to intimidate or threaten member states that would vote for a resolution condemning the United States is being taken. It seems like pressure is being put on countries in the hopes that this will keep them from voting for this resolution criticizing the move by the United States. So all eyes are on the UN General Assembly, and we will see how these statements from U.S. leaders, this talk about taking names, this letter, which is not yet confirmed, we'll see how this affects the upcoming vote at the UN headquarters here in New York.
Controversy continues to be Donald Trump's middle name. Caleb Maupin bringing us up to date there. Thank you. Meanwhile, Turkey is accusing the US and other countries ahead of the vote on Thursday of condemning Trump's statement on Jerusalem, adding Washington should change its course.